Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, as always, Colin the Crow Clark. And today I'm going to bring you a first look, or a good look at least, of Gears 5 Horde mode. And I'm starting this week's series off with the man himself, JD, the soon-to-be legend. As you see to the side of my screen here, I've got a replay or a loop of my actual footage playing JD in Horde mode. Above that, I'm just simply showing off the character model at its base stat, and then the 3 original skill cards they allowed you to play during this beta test at the Microsoft stores over the weekend. But I'm going to jump right into it, and I'm going to talk a little bit about JD, his playstyle, what you're looking for, and the cards that they allowed you to have. First off, let's start with his skills. JD's ultimate ability, as we all got to see in that reveal trailer, but it is so much more impressive in person, is that artillery strike. When you see a big bad in front of you, when you feel like they're closing in, go ahead, call that sucker in, and let the missiles do the work. The artillery strikes rain down hell upon all of your enemies, leaving none in sight. He is by far the field commander of the future with that ultimate ability, and I absolutely adored the ability itself. You feel like they're closing in. We got into a boss wave where all of a sudden it felt like we were all going to get overrun. I call in the airstrike. It basically melts everything in a path in front of us, gives us a bit of an escape route to continue to move about the map, and allowed us to continue forward in our game. His passive ability actually fits his original loadout to a T. It becomes the perfect counterpoint for his original loadout, because he starts with that Lancer GL and a Nasher, but his passive mixed with one of his skill cards becomes a deadly combination. The Lancer GL already fires a little faster, it's a little bit harder, it's a little bit stronger to the punch, but it is a little harder to control because of that higher rate of fire, and it's got that mortar laser attached to the bottom of it. But his passive allows for every 6th headshot that JD lands, it drops ammos for him. It drops little supply things that you can go around, pick up, get some more ammo, because if you are a little shaky behind the trigger finger, if you can't control the recoil, that extra ammo will definitely help you out. Now let's go over the 3 original skill cards they let us use in this beta test for Gears 5 Horde. His very first one was Lancer GL Mastery. The Lancer he starts off with, his original equipped weapon, actually gets reduced recoil and headshot damage with a singular card. And for everybody just starting out, working their way up to progress these cards to make them better, that want to play JD as their chosen hero, this is a perfect card for them, because the Lancer GL, it's trusty, it ain't rusty, it'll always be by your side, and every time you get that thing on the head, you get your reticle right lined up where it needs to be for the critical damage, it's going to do just so much more, and it's going to be a little bit easier to do that with that reduced recoil card. I loved it. It's the one that I used the most in our couple of playthroughs. Next, we move on to launcher capacity. It seems like JD's really built around the boom, if you know what I'm saying. He's got that artillery strike ultimate, and he also has the launcher capacity skill card, which allows him to carry more ammo in the boom shot, the drop shot, and that torque bow. So the ammo capacity is raised up by using that card mixed in with those 3 weapons, and it really gives him a chance for some sheer firepower with the Lancer GL's mortar strike, with a boom, a drop, or a torque. He is able to basically explode his way to victory, and I think it's one of the best setups you can have when you want to go again into those later waves where the boom shot and the drop shot and the torque are really useful. They really help you clean out the smaller enemies that are coming in at many directions. And finally, his 3rd original skill card they let us set up with, Officer's Prerogative. He's an officer, he's got the artillery strike, he's the field commander of the future, so why not give him his own prerogative? As an officer, JD is allowed to use his prerogative to get 3 more strikes with that artillery strike ultimate. It then becomes so unbelievably deadly. It's like dropping a small Moab on somebody. a weapon of mass destruction. That thing is indeed, when you equip that skill card and use it combined with the ultimate, it becomes even greater. JD really plays out like kind of a beginner player's character, though. He comes out, he's got the Lancer GL, which is a little easier to use if you've got that card on it. You get a lot of headshots with it. It's got a mortar strike. He gets increased ammo with the boom shot, the drop shot, and the torque, and he gets increased artillery strikes when he drops hell on his enemies. So he's really friendly to newer players. If you're just getting into Horde, or if you're playing with somebody that might not play Horde as much, let him be JD. Kind of steer him in the direction of JD, because it really allows for him to kind of make some mistakes, maybe get encroached upon pretty easily, but the mortar gets him out of trouble. The extra boom shot rounds get him out of trouble. The airstrike can certainly get you out of trouble. But make no mistake about it, in the hands of a veteran, JD could definitely be the deadliest person on your team and do everything necessary for victory in Gears 5 Horde. If you see that I missed anything, or if you want to talk to JD about JD with me, leave it in the comments down below. As always, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.